Growing anecdotal and empirical evidence has illustrated the dangerous possibilities of chatbot interactions and how their design can be unsuitable for vulnerable users, in particular children. Research has shown that children are more likely to view AI chatbots as quasi-human and thus trust them more than some of their peers and certainly adults. When an interaction between children and chatbots goes wrong, it can go very, very wrong. An investigation by Common Sense Media and Stanford University's Brainstorm Lab for Mental Health found that safeguards in place for the chatbots they tested were unable to adequately prevent the technology from encouraging harmful behaviors, providing inappropriate content, and exacerbating mental health conditions of minors. There have been, as you know, several high-profile cases that have shown us how these interactions can be tragic. In one example, teenager Adam Rain ended his life after a prolonged interaction with ChatGPT. What started out as a study tool ultimately became Adam's closest companion. When Adam turned suicidal, ChatGPT offered validation and encouraged exploration of his suicidal thoughts. That chatbot, according to the complaint filed later by his grieving parents, proved that it mentioned suicide 1,275 times, 6 times more than Adam himself. I was recently joined with the presentation of this bill in privacy by Adam's mother, whose courage in this matter has been beyond words. Last year I authored the first in the nation legislation, SB 243, an important first step for ensuring the safety of users while interacting with chatbots. But more work remains to be done. This year, I have joined efforts with Assemblywoman Wicks and Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan to introduce SB 1119, this bill, and AB 2023, the bill in the Assembly, which mirrors exactly this measure. These bills seek to establish a comprehensive regulatory framework to address the risk of prolonged chatbot interactions by children. The bills would require an annual risk assessment, along with the establishment of measures to prevent suicidal ideation, sycophancy, and the isolation, including a crisis response protocol, providing additional guardrails in the form of default settings for children, parental controls, noticing requirements, and time limits on interactions, prohibitions on advertising and the selling, sharing, and usage of children's private information, and ensuring a robust oversight and enforcement framework, including through a public incident reporting mechanism, third-party audits, the development of auditing standards by the Attorney General, and the inclusion of a private right of action. We have seen the consequences of inaction, and we must act now.